Welcome, everybody. Today, we have a very special hot seat, and it is your guy right here, Sage Sentient. But in the hot seat, we have Gaming Embers Flair. Welcome, my friend. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. We are really excited to have you on. And not only are we really excited to have you on, you're really fun. I've watched your streams. I love the kind of stuff that you do. You're very informative. You're very particular on what you want to do. You are very, very, not necessarily analytical with everything, but you're, again, particular, but you have a method that you like to do, which we want to talk about later on, and get these hot seat questions to you, because I'm sure a lot of people want to get to know you more, and you are a variety streamer, so it's not just the MSF. We have other games that we want to talk about with you as well. So we know that you're having a great day. You're enjoying yourself. Are you ready to get into the hot seat, my friend?
Let's do it.
Oh, all right. Let's do this. Okay, guys.
Hey, you gotta have that little confidence, a little bit of swagger with it. Let's just do it.
We are under the stars. We are in Kentucky. This is why I'm wearing my flannel and my, hunting hat. And basically, Flair is gonna give all of us a fireside chat here. So gather around, get your marshmallows, hot dogs, get your Coke, and let's enjoy ourselves listening to Flair in the hot seat. All right, now, so what we got today is a couple very serious questions for you, my friend. I don't know if you can really handle this, but we'll start. It's going to go like a pyramid. We're going to start low, and we're going to go up to the mountain, and we're going to come down to the top. Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right. First question, my friend. And as we get in here, let's bring some of this. Yeah. We already got that music ready to go because it's going to be really mysterious. We're out here in the woods. We want to get these questions right. So let's start out with a question that actually everyone wants to know. And one of them actually kind of came from Coach. But this was also something that I usually ask everybody. And it's always a fun question to ask because last year, Marvel Strike Force blew up as a channel, as a game, and it blew up as a method for people to, get to know a lot of people on Twitch and things like that. So, what got you into MSF, and why did you choose to stream it?
So, I'm trying to think with Marvel and stuff like that in general. Kind of just backstory stuff. One of the first games I played that had that kind of collector vibe to it was Contest of Champions.
Yeah.
I played that. Lord, how many years has it been out now? Because I played it, I think
It's 2016,
like my sophomore and junior year of college.
Oh wow!
Which probably tells a lot about me. Yeah. So that was the first one I played. I dropped it after a while because by the time college rolled back around for that next semester, I just did not have the time to play it. Fast forward a couple of years, I pick up Star Wars Galaxy Heroes.
Yeah.
I played that for a while. I played that for I think a little over a year and a half, almost two, before I picked up MSF. I picked up MSF because I love Marvel. I love the IP. And I was like, if I'm gonna play a game, if I'm gonna play another one of these hero collectors, it's gonna be that one.
Yeah.
Marvel Strike Force, and I just started playing it. I liked it. I've already been streaming at the time, and so it's just like, if I'm gonna play this, I'd rather stream it while I'm playing it as well.
Pretty much. It became a situation for you where you were kind of at a crossroads, right? You're like, I'm playing these other games, but I really, really, really want to stream Marvel Strike Force because it has a better fit for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when I streamed Swugga, I liked the game to a degree. I liked the IP. There's parts of the game that I don't like. It just feels like the grind takes forever in some parts of that. And even though I was like, a max level account and, kind of going through their PvP modes and stuff like that, there's parts of it I just did not like. And I was like, I want to play something else, have something else to come to and stream and enjoy. And Strike Force was it.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Did you start, and you kind of started during this whole thing in streaming during the pandemic, or were you streaming before?
I was streaming before. I've been streaming for kind of off and on for a couple of years now.
Oh wow!
But COVID landed at a weird particular time for me as well. I had been laid off from one of my from my previous job a couple of months before, like around like Christmas time. So I had from Christmas up until the start of pandemic.
Yeah.
And then pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And so, I've been streaming kind of regularly, doing all the stuff before that and continuing during that, and still doing it off and on here right now, between life and work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
very nice. Let's go and talk about a couple of things. Now, this is something that, you're a variety streamer. You play a bunch of different games. I want to talk about, the question is, have you played other games like MSF, which you do, SWOGO, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, if you guys don't know. Now, you were talking about a couple things in there, something that you don't like. I also play Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I don't necessarily stream it. I've only streamed it a couple times. My biggest problem is the graphics. My biggest problem is the angle at which you're looking inside of the game when you attack. My biggest problem is there's a heavier grind actually than Marvel Strike Force, which is really hard to believe. Mm-hmm. What are yours, and how do you think they can make it better? And what does this last question? This is kind of like a two-parter. This is the harder question. What does Marvel Strike Force have over Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
So the biggest thing for me with SWGO was you could have all the characters unlocked and whatnot. The gearing took forever with stuff. The biggest thing I hated was just how much gear it took to get a character to be usable, and not just usable. You also had to have them at 7 stars to go on to take them above gear 11. And then mods, I hated mods, despised mods. It was one of my least favorite things to deal with because RNG was never with me.
Right.
So often it was, in Grand Arena, the the big PvP mode that everyone kind of keeps playing the game for. You could have all the characters at the same gear level, but if someone had better mods, it was just kind of over with in certain battles. And I hated that, it's a heavy RNG kind of system. Now you can do the song, do the dance to get the hug and eventually get the kind of mods that you want, but that takes time. And when you play against players that have been playing longer than you, because of how the GP matchups occur and everything, some players go a little slower and kind of build up their inventory as they slowly work on characters, or you just get matched up with players that have all the really heavily focused rosters, and I was not one of those people. I was like, I want to play the game, I want to enjoy it, I want to lock characters, I want to upgrade them, I want to feel like I actually got something doing the grind for this. So
now, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, how long have you been playing?
I played it for almost 2 years. I put it down full stop.
Okay.
Because I wanted to focus on I'm playing a lot more MSF than I ever did SWGO. I enjoy it more despite some of its faults. And maybe it's from playing SWGO so much I'm fine with its faults.
Yeah.
But
now how long have you been playing Marvel Strike Force?
I'd have to look at my in-game days. It's well over a year now. I think it's like a year and 2 months, maybe a year and 3.
So that's good. You got some experience under your belt there, and the most important thing with that is are you free to play, or do you spend?
I spend. Yep.
Okay, so
definitely not free to play.
When you spent in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which is the lesser of the two evils?
I feel like SWGO was worse when it came to spending, because sometimes when you spent, you really didn't get a whole lot out of it. You'd have to spend a lot more to actually get characters to a usable point. Because again, your gear was stargated. For the better gear, and pretty much a lot of characters they're useless if they're not at 7-star gear 12. And it's just I don't want to do that. That's stupid. It's going to take me forever to farm this character. And the value for what you spend would either be okay, like an unlock of a character, which again doesn't mean anything,
right?
Or you get gear and you realize, oh hey, I need more than this.
A lot more
to get the character. Yeah, much more.
Yeah. So out of all the spending and out of all the both the games, particularly these two, because we're kind of on that topic, who's your most cherished unlock in Marvel Strike Force?
Ooh, I will be it. I think I call him my cherished one out of just the sheer silliness of how I handle it. It's Zemo. Zemo, whenever he came out and all that. And this is before Falcon Winter Soldier made Zemo a character in and of himself.
Yeah.
I loved the kit. I loved the interaction with it, and it was just ridiculous. Just I called him the Stab Man. And so, it's just like you start using him early on, back when it was like, oh, he's just the hard counter to Red Skull. And it's like, okay, we're in a smaller alliance and you're taking a more geared up Red Skull or Zemo against like Red Skull teams. It's like, oh, there's a Red Skull. Claire, go deal with it. Okay, I've got this. I've got my Zemo. So it was fun. It was satisfying. And, he's one of the few characters that I put gold promos into, and I'm happy with that.
And what about the character in Swogo? Did you feel like when you unlocked Zemo, did you have the exact same like wow and yes, like I did it, I got this character, than the character that you got most in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes?
I don't think I had that with a particular character. I think the character, one of the ones I fondly kind of remember was Shakti. When Shakti came to Swugga, that kind of gave a home for clone troopers, and that quickly became like my favorite faction in the game. I loved using them and how that whole team kind of worked, but it doesn't compare. It really doesn't compare to like the feeling of unlocking characters and getting to use them in Strike Force, in my opinion.
So we're climbing up the top of the mountain here, and I have to ask you, how much money have you spent so far in Marvel Strike Force? We have quite a bit of guys who've been on the show, and there's a wide range of spending. There's a wide range of ideas of what is a dolphin, what is a kraken, and what is a whale, and what is a guppy, or straight free to play. Now, most people now are gonna have a very hard time playing free to play because of Strike Pass and Battle Pass and all those things. But for you in particular, we have a number of as low as free to play to $15, about $30, I think now, he said, all the way up to about $22,000. Okay, and Reminex did not necessarily give his exact number, but he definitely say it was extremely high, and he said it was much higher than that. So where do you fall?
We joke around that I'm kind of the Alliance whale, but really lately it's been more kind of a dolphin in terms of spending and stuff like that. I've been really picky and choosy about like character releases now, but it started with that patch that had Emma and characters involved in that one. The next patch after that is like, okay, there's characters I like seeing here, and I want to play with them. I want to be able to use them. Of course, Emma we knew was going to be the milestone character, and I wanted to jump on that one and really get to enjoy it. And so I did. Squirrel Girl was one for the comical factor of it.
Of course.
The symbiotes, obviously, because everyone wanted to get symbiotes online. Imtech was a team that I went for, and then Axemen after that because of Jubilee. I'm trying to think in terms of actual like numbers. I haven't looked, and sometimes I don't want to. In terms of how much I've actually spent.
Now, would you say that you spent over $500 in the game in the past year? Because obviously the packs and the characters, ranging there, so that you might be within like $500 within the year.
Probably around there.
Okay. So it's not terrible. Not terrible. Do you think that maybe it's higher because you might not know the exact number? Like maybe like it's like 800.
It might be higher. It might be a little higher. I don't think it's drastically higher.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's probably hitting there is the good starting ballpark.
Do you feel like being a Alliance whale, quote unquote, do you feel like that is giving you a little bit of more an edge to when people ask for your advice, or do they feel like, wow, you've actually spent money, you have no idea how to move in the game? Even though you've actually played Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, do you feel like in this game you understand how to play with the characters, buying and just moving through?
So a lot of it is I don't jump onto a character unless I feel like they're gonna be like valuable to work on. And so like or I'm in a position where it's like, oh hey, I pulled really good red stars on this character. Might well go ahead and try and do it, especially right now where we don't know how availability is going to be on characters like Polaris. But a lot of it is just, okay, you see when you start seeing how everything looks together, I start kind of getting an idea of like, okay, I kind of want I like this one. This one we'll figure that one out later. This one I know is getting this release method. If it's a campaign character, like multiple man right now, I don't even, not a cent has dropped on them.
Right.
Because I know I can get a 4-star easily on those characters. Characters like Moon Knight, I didn't do that for. White Tiger, I didn't do that. But if it's a character that I'm like, ooh, this is a good one, I'm gonna consider it. So
yeah.
But and then with that, it's like other people are like, okay, so do you think they're good? And I'm like, well, considering I've unlocked them and I'm gearing them up, we'll see. We'll figure it out. So
let's talk about something really quick. You spend you're playing this game now for a year. You got some experience under your belt. You're streaming. You're doing all these things. What is your attitude towards Scopely and the constant bugs, the spending that's actually pretty expensive? Where do you land your view? Are you positive for the future? Are you kind of like, ooh, I don't know how that's going? This kind of like is a question that runs along with what Ouija was asking earlier. Where do you stand in this game for this game? Do you feel like it has gotten different? Do you feel like it's gotten to a point where it's like, this is too much or not enough?
I think so part of it, a lot of people, we've had some people kind of in our chats and stuff that have talked about the bottlenecks and everything. And part of it for me, because where I come from is Swugga, and there's a whole different ballpark of issues with that game in terms of, again, characters aren't useful until they're max star level. You still have to do all the gearing for the characters. You have to do mods, and mods suck. And I think the attitude that some people have, if they are especially coming from that game, is that either they've been so used to how Swugga does their stuff, or they're at a point in that game where they're at the end game and they can kind of be a little more picky and choosy with what they want to do and who they want to go for instead of following these paths. And I'm like, you have to set aside your thoughts about that game for right now. And think about what you've got here. I generally like the game still right now. Definitely. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that there's been like little to no attention to detail in some areas of the game over the past forever, it feels like.
Right.
But it's not enough that I think at the end of the day, am I going to put this game down? It's not happened yet.
Well, that's good.
I think it's going to take it may take something really stupid, like them completely botching something up like horribly, and
you're just like, I'm done.
A running train that's just, they have no sign of stopping. It's going to take something like that for me to put it down.
Okay, well, that's good. So you're a little bit on the positive side. That's good. Glass half full. You actually have a friend that you kind of tag team with on streaming, or you're YouTubing and such. Remind me his name and tell me what you guys think as a whole, because you guys are kind of, you guys both, Biscuit Weasel basically, right? Biscuit Weasel is your buddy, and Biscuit Weasel has, also, you guys are very cool. You guys kind of like play like a little bit of like a good cop, bad cop. Sometimes you guys kind of play a little bit of like a, you streaming together or being on each other's streams and such. How does he feel that? And do you feel like you have the better upper hand point of view? Can you hear me? Do you have the who do you think has the idea of putting together the right stuff to letting people know like, hey, like we still can bring Marvel Strike Force to the next level?
Could you repeat that again? You're kind of.
Oh, was I cutting out? Okay, so when you both play together, you and Biscuit Weasel, have an idea together when you put out your content. Do you feel like what's your idea and your point of view that you feel like the two of you together, include his? I don't want you to speak for him, but it's like you're speaking as a team in a way. Do you guys have a positive outlook for this game in like the next year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a couple of points, when we've had some issues, or there's some issues. He had the multiple land issue. He did the farming for and got the infiltrator orb shards, but I had done it a little bit later in the evening, so I didn't get that experience. But generally, we have a couple of these issues, and we're like, this kind of sucks, and it feels like things are a little shaky right now. But we generally are still kind of holding on to hope that, this. A little hill here and a little hill there will kind of crest over and not have much of. We'll get past it eventually.
Yeah.
I'm very much I won't speak for him on all this stuff because he gets frustrated about some stuff as well. I get frustrated about some stuff, but I generally have a really high tolerance for issues. And it's like it takes a lot.
Yeah.
For me to really.
But what is going to put you over? What's going to put you over, Flair? Flair, we want to really like bring this out here. I feel like you want to say it, but you don't want to like, bash the game, and that's totally fine. But what puts you over?
What would put me over?
Yeah. This is the hot seat. This is the hot seat.
I think if they, depending on, I don't know. Maybe when they decide to do like this next gear level or next couple gear levels, they decide to make like that big jump from 14 to 15.
Yeah.
Just like the sheer number of pieces that it takes. If that trend keeps going, that's going to be a huge grind. I may put up with it, but there might hit a point where I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
So you would put the game down if they bring up another level and they're like, hey Flair, go ahead, keep going.
Keep going, keep pushing. Yeah, and maybe there's the inklings of like the release methods that have come out lately, like Polaris being in the strike pass, and not having any looking like that's really the only way you're gonna get her to start with.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they keep kind of going in these weird little trends of trying to play with and get really loosey-goosey with how they give a character to us. If they're going to limit us in a certain way and really just kind of hit us where it hurts.
Yeah.
In terms of getting access to characters. Because I like I said, I don't want to spend on every single character. I don't. I can't. And, it's like, okay, you don't give us, especially if it's a lot of characters back to back to back. If they try to be just awful with release methods on those.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Enough strings of those, maybe. And again, I'm still positive about this stuff.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Let's talk about small flares, little flare, young flare. I want to find out something, and we want to know when you decided to come up with your name, and you were like, hey, like this is what I want to go by. Where did you get your username? How did it come up?
So the Flare name that I go by, the little moniker for that, that came from, oh dear God, I'm trying to remember how many years ago it has been now. Around the time where you would sign up for, they would kind of give you like a random name generation and stuff like that for usernames. I remember I was setting up one of my accounts. I want to say it was Microsoft for Xbox or something like that. And one of the names that it kind of I generated for that was it was get the full part of it, like Flare Nova or something like that. And I was like, I like the Flare part. I'm gonna keep with that. And ever since then, especially when I run into people online and they would want to try and say the whole username and everything, I go with just cut it Flare.
Yeah,
just cut it there. I like that. Short and sweet. The Gaming Embers part of the channel came from me and my girlfriend. She will kind of play around and play some games and stuff with me sometimes. It's been a long time since because of COVID and everything, but the one of the things that we were joking around with was that we liked that campfire idea, that camp idea, even though I'm not a camping person at all.
But camping, the camp counselor, the camp idea has always been fun.
Yes, the idea of that we've liked, and so we were like, okay, so what we like about that, where can we go with that? Embers. Okay, it sticks with the flare idea. And then what do we do with that? And it was like really not much else that came to mind. It was like Gaming Embers. Yeah, we can roll with that. And I rolled with it, and that was what I branded everything as, and I've stuck with it. It's been a little over 2 years, or 2 or 3, since I started with the Gaming Embers moniker.
That's cool.
So, yeah,
that's really cool. What was the age you were first kissed when young Flare was flaming around, running around the campfire, around the the little chimney? What was the age you were first kissed?
I want to say 13 or 14.
13 or 14. That's cute.
I'm trying to think. It was that like first crush.
Oh, first crush
person, and I've learned something, and I teach some students I mentor and do stuff with and everything. I tell them, I'm like, look, at first crush, it's gonna crash. It is gonna
crash and burn. But was it the most memorable?
Too much stock in that one.
Yeah, right. Was that, when was the first kiss that was like meaningful to you? Because this was kind of like you have your first kiss, you're like, oh, this was cool, but it's never like the first kiss that like really like was like most important to you. Because like sometimes you're like, wow, like my first love, or like the first time I actually really meant to kiss someone, because 14, it's innocent, you're like, all right, cool.
I'll say a little bit later, like 16 or well, no, not 16. It probably more like 17. I'm trying to think how old I was when me and my girlfriend started dating.
That's cool.
We're me and my current girlfriend now. We were high school sweethearts still. But,
awesome.
It's it was one of those. I'm trying to think. It was one of those. Is like, okay, yeah. After this point, it's like, yep. I want to spend forever. Yep.
Oh, you said
like,
I would. My gosh. You just cooled down the hot seat. My God. That is adorable.
Be able to be like, okay, I want to, hopefully see myself being with this one for a very, very long time.
Oh my God.
So
you want to use one blanket for the two of you around the campfire. That's awesome, man. I like that. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. But I got to know one thing. When was the last time you lied?
Last time I what?
The last time you lied. When was the last time you lied?
It's one of those things that I'm like, I don't lie too much. It's one of those, I would call myself a little bit of a Boy Scout in a way. It's like, trying to be prim and proper. I'm very much of the mentality, I want to reflect everything about myself to everybody as much as possible. You're not going to get a different me in real life versus on the camera or in talking in private. But
what about like maybe
we're probably talking.
Go ahead. Keep going. Talking what?
I was gonna say we're probably talking maybe one of those like stupid classes that you don't wanna deal with, and it's like, you don't do an assignment and you push it off for forever, and it's like,
Okay.
I need excuses to
Yeah.
push this thing back and back and back and not deal with it. And it was
Yeah.
one of those classes probably in college. Just like, all right, I got to find another reason to not have to do this assignment right now. And the professor is still giving me some leeway on it. I'm going to run with this as much as possible, and then I'll get to it. I feel like it was probably around there.
Okay. So not too bad, you know, but like, what about stretching the truth? Like, we were like, Mom, I stayed out a little, like 5 minutes too late, but it was really like another like 30, 45 minutes and you were supposed to be home or something like that. What's something like that? Like, you kind of was like, hey, yeah.
Nothing's coming off right off the top of my head.
You are the Boy Scout right now, man. You are Boy Scouting right now so hard.
I'm being legitimately honest. Like, I'm
That's
trying
good.
to think. Nothing like actually comes off the top of my head.
That's good.
Or at least within the last reconcilable years or so.
Reconcilable years. That's great.
Yeah, well, what I can remember, what I can piece back together.
Yeah. So let me ask you a very hard question here. I'm gonna ask you a very hard question. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
If you're asking me, no.
No. Are you lying?
No. I am not lying on that.
I'm not lying. So what do you like on your pizza?
I'm a plain person. So
Cheese.
When it comes to that stuff, you know, I'm a chicken kind of person on my pizzas. You know, chicken we'll put some we'll put some mushrooms and stuff on pizzas. Really just depends, stuff like that. I don't go crazy with pizza.
Okay.
I just don't.
Okay.
You know, you have people who are like, oh, I want to top it with all this stuff. We'll go Hawaiian with it. And I'm like, nah. Take a cheese, throw some chicken on it. I'm fine with that.
I'm just, that's great. That's really funny. I mean, I didn't expect you to say mushroom, because when it's mushroom, it's like, that's usually not like the first thing that people are like, hey, like, this is like my plain version. So like, you're kind of like maybe 4 down, like number 4 on that roster. It's like, because it's always like, it's either cheese or pepperoni is like 1 or 2, right? And then it's either like sausage or like peppers or something like that. And then you get to like mushrooms. Now mushrooms is like, either you're all the way in on it or you're not. So it's like that 5 or 6 of like topping where you're like top 5 right there. So that's good.
Either people like it or they call it dirt.
Yeah.
I had a buddy I worked with, and he was like, how you liking your dirt pizza? And I was like, shut up, I like it.
That's great. Now, let's get into something really fun. What is the worst character in the game of Marvel Strike Force that is not a minion? And why is it the current Blitz character?
Ooh, worst character that's not a minion.
Worst character that's not a minion.
I'm not going to say the current Blitz character right now because that's too easy.
Too easy?
Oh, man. I feel like right now, if you were to ask me like least favorite character, it's probably going to land somewhere in like a couple of the Guardian characters. It's like, like you guys, like I bought the lie. I worked on you guys and you fail me over and over and over. Why did I invest in you? Probably you can name one of the Guardian of the Galaxy characters. Maybe not Star-Lord.
Yeah.
I could probably say Gamora.
Probably
now.
Gamora then.
And Gamora would probably land somewhere on the bottom.
Yeah.
That bottom rung for me.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or I would go Nobu, but everyone else has that hate on Nobu, and I'm like, right. I don't care enough.
Yeah. Now, the fact that you choose the Guardians, playing devil's advocate here, Guardians actually had not only their shine for a moment.
They totally did.
Not only did they have their shine, they were actually like, there were 3 characters for the BKT Best Kree team that were like, if you were in U6, not only did they dominate, it was absolute straight auto. And Gamora really wasn't even in there. So,
oh no.
But Gamora had her day though, where like, and she's dangerous if she's on like a villain side or you're versus her on AI, she can wreck shop. She can wreck shop.
Of course, everyone else's Gamora is going to be better than your Gamora. That's the rule.
Yes, of course. Of course. I like it. That's great. It's like Black Panther as well. It's like Black Panther and Gamora and Nebula are like, they're always the other.
OG Spider-Man as well.
OG Spider-Man, right.
He you know, that dodge chance is 100% when you're fighting him.
100%.
100%.
And that's not only 100%, it's 100% 4 times in a row.
Yep. Their Groots will always revive. Their Nebulas will always revive. Even when you Black Bolt them, they'll still revive because that's just the game hates you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. That is so true. Favorite Marvel character, storyline, or movie, my friend? Moving down the pyramid here. Favorite Marvel character, storyline, or movie? You can name all 3 if you'd like.
Ooh, okay. All right. Marvel character, I'm gonna be Boy Scout. I'm gonna say Captain America. He's always been. I like the relative simplicity of the character. You know, is that character that you can look to. He's going to be relatively reliable, kind of constant as a character. And when they had Captain America in the Marvel movies, I loved his movies. Mm-hmm. Some people don't like them as much, but I'm like, it's this. I just like what they did with him. I like Chris Evans as an actor. Yeah. And those were some of the movies that I enjoyed every time, and I can pull them up and I can still enjoy them.
Right.
Storyline.
By the way, you just fanboyed so hard on Chris Evans right now. You were kind of blushing.
Yes. Hey, Chris Evans was a wonderful, excellent pick for me.
Yeah, he really was.
Storyline wise, I'm trying to think here. In terms of like when you say storyline, what are you saying by storyline? Because I think
storyline for like a comic
book, like comics, or stuff like that. Because I've not really done a whole lot with Marvel comics.
Okay. Well, like
I think I've read some of like the Civil War storyline that they did. But I've not really been a Marvel comic person.
Okay. I mean, now you're looking at the idea of like movies are more adaptations now, or mostly anyway, just because that's what it is. But with the idea of, you know, Secret Wars and, you know, the future of what's to happen next in the MCU, there's a lot of storylines that they can still use, and at the same time there's a lot of storylines that are in the comics that they just are kind of avoiding. There's a lot of things that are in the comics that that they want to get to, but it's so like deep cut that they don't have like the time to really explain it to the masses. So those are some pieces there, but the Civil War one is very good. They adapted it actually very well, and considering the fact that we all saw a great version, 3 pretty much great versions of that, you know, adapted, what is really like, wow, like we really come through with some superhero movies, because superhero movies in the beginning were like, wow, Elektra was awful, or Daredevil was really bad.
Elektra, Daredevil, you know, the old school, the X-Men movies. The X-Men movies were very much eclectic.
Yeah.
Like you had to you liked them because of the jank in the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you got to like Logan.
Yeah.
Logan was an X-Men movie that I loved.
Yeah. That's a hardcore movie.
And honestly, it wasn't even really that hardcore in my opinion.
It wasn't hardcore. The first
they
scene,
got the R rating.
The first scene, the guy gets his head slashed off.
When I think of, I don't know. I feel like overall the movie, like they could have done much more with it.
Really?
You play with like in games. Maybe I'm just desensitized by the fact that, you know, you have that games have kind of always been, especially with play shooters and stuff like that. They've all been in that. They kind of amp it up. If you play like horror games and stuff like that, you're kind of desensitized to certain levels.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Violence.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's very true.
So Logan wasn't. Logan was more tame, in my opinion. They could have done much more with it.
Wow. I want to like write your version.
Ooh, I don't know.
Gaming Embers written by Gaming or Flair. That would be awesome.
Hey man. But I think overall favorite movie.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I feel like what they've come out with the last little bits, a couple of the standout ones for me, even though I love Captain America a lot.
Right.
A couple of the ones that I enjoyed. I loved Doctor Strange. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. Because you could tell that Guardians of the Galaxy, you could tell that James Gunn was just having fun with the cast and the story and the characters. I liked Black Panther because of all the fact that they were tying in kind of all these elements of the story and culture and society into it, but telling a story with it and not trying to push an idea. Not trying to fist an idea through. But I liked all that stuff. I like the direction that those movies have all been. So it's hard to say like a favorite movie. Those are kind of all in my like box of movies. I'm like, I want to enjoy a good movie right now. And Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, those are all going to be in it.
I like it. Yeah, they're all great. They're all great. They're also a lot of fun. You know, you can watch it and be intrigued more and more and more, and then you can also just be like, hey, this was just fun. I just wanted to watch it for fun. Leave it on. It's great background noise too while you're like in the kitchen if you're cooking or you're doing chores around the house too. You know, you're like, ooh, let me stop and let me stop the vacuum real quick and watch this scene. You know, it's really cool. We're gonna finalize here. You're doing amazing, by the way. I love it. But one Infinity Stone, my friend. To use, doesn't have to be in a fight, but to use one Infinity Stone, what would you use?
Time Stone, because you can deal something and be like, let's try that again. let's try that. Let's come back. Let's revisit that one again. Maybe if I did something this way.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones, it's like, oh, you can be really powerful. Oh, you can trick people. Well, how about just being able to say redo?
Yeah, redo.
Try that again.
Yeah.
Maybe step a little bit more to the left.
Right.
This time instead of to the right.
Right. I like that. That's actually a good perspective there. Step a little bit to the left. That's a good line there because it really makes you understand like, ooh, not only you just doing something the same time, but maybe just a tad bit different. But that angle gives you so much more. I like it. Good answer.
Well, it's like when you go back and when you have the information of it, it's like, okay, I would rather be able to just go back in time and do this again.
Right.
And because you know what's gonna happen. You're not just gonna punch your way through with a power stone or try and trick someone with reality or whatever. So
yeah. Maybe you could rewind and be like, hey, I don't want this Nebula Blitz. I don't want to level up this character anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Who would you rather love? Legit, who actually has a better kit, Gamora or Nebula?
I feel like, the funny thing is I use Gamora like very little back in the day. Gamora probably because of the fact that she can be used with like the hero brawlers, because I used her a little bit before they had Squirrel Girl and kind of made that team kind of its own deal.
Right.
Gamora was on that team because it's like, okay, Miss Marvel, Miles, Chavez, throw them all together, put her there. She's got the tags. Wolverine, he's got the tags. They can all kind of go and live in this little corner together, and then they became an actual team.
Right.
And it was like, well, you go back in the box.
Back in the box and don't look at it. Don't literally open it, close it. Done. I like it.
It's like, are you useful again? No? Okay, never mind.
Oh my goodness. It's like a Toy Story like moment. And like, no. Andy doesn't pick it up anymore and doesn't hand it over. All right, man. Gaming Embers Flair, everybody. This was his moment in the hot seat. Congratulations. You have passed the test of the heat in the campfire. You did well. You did very well. And
thank you.
It's really great to have you on. I mean, obviously your name is Embers. You have flair, so I guess you're kind of just already in the heat. So you did well, man. Great. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to hop into the PvP section of our match, and we are going to do a quick quiz actually right before. So, here's the deal. We're going to do our little quiz. We're going to end that, and then we're going to do our next bit in just a moment. So, we are going to do a little quiz that we'd like to call Superhero Countdown. All right? And in Superhero Countdown, you, my friend, get to guess the character's powers. Now, what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to give me a number, and you'll have 2 minutes to guess these powers. You'll have 2 minutes to guess, and we're gonna get you in with the clock here. We're gonna clock you down. So let's get this ready. Count down to M. You'll have 2 minutes, and if you can answer these, you just get like, it's just for pride. It's just for pride. Nothing amazing.
Brownie points, stuff
brownie
like that?
points, yeah.
Oh,
1 through 36, my friend. 1 through 36. Give me a number.
Let's go with my lucky number. Let's go 4.
Lucky number 4. You have selected Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is now your immediate character. Know anything a little bit about her?
A little bit.
All right. We have some questions here. We're going to see if you know. We're going to get to you under the countdown. We're going to give you a couple things here. And once you hear the bing or the sound that goes like this, that's when you know you got it right. And then if you hear it wrong, you're going to hear as well. So we're going to get this going, and we're going to get the countdown running. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Sounds good. Here we are. Captain Marvel. Here is your quiz. Does she have the powers of animal mimicry?
No.
Claws.
No.
Energy projection.
Yes.
Flame generation.
No.
Flight.
Yes.
Mind control.
No.
Shapeshifting.
No.
Human durability. Or sorry, superhuman durability.
Yes.
Superhuman elasticity.
No.
Superhuman strength.
Yes.
Telepathy.
No.
And wall climbing.
No.
Very good. You got 100%, and you did it with almost a full minute to spare, my friend. I think you did it with like a minute 8 left. That was awesome. Great job, man. Congratulations on that. It was just, a little fun that we have. Now we're going to get into this PvP here. Are you ready to do this, man?
Let's go.
Let's
man,
roll.
I don't PvP a whole lot. Hey, let's figure out how this works.
All right, so we're gonna get down to the PvP, guys. Now let's close this video out because we're gonna do another video in just a second. It's just gonna be very quick, just a quick ending. Flair Gaming Embers being on the show, awesome. Congratulations. Now, my friend, where can everyone find you?
Twitch.tv/Gaming Embers. And from there you can see the links to everything else for Twitter and for the YouTube channel that me and Biscuit Weasel do for FBW Gaming. You can also search FBW Gaming on YouTube. But yeah, you can get everything from the Twitch channel. So it's all in the descriptions down below from there. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, awesome. We really can't wait. And hopefully Biscuit Weasel can find his way into the show, because I would love to have you guys be as like a singular duo on this show to interview both of you guys. It'd be really cool. And FBW Gaming, is that what it was?
Yes.
FBW Gaming is the Flair Biscuit Weasel Gaming. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I kind of just guessed that one out of the air though. But anyway, everybody, you guys can find this show every day, or not every day. You can find me on Twitch every day at Sage Sentient. You can find the hot seat on Tuesdays, and they're usually in the afternoon here on LA time. We also have the YouTube, if you want to check that out. He will have his video up very soon for under the season 2 channel playlist button for Sage Sentient. Find him there, and I'll also have all of his links as well for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into our PvP, so stick to the next video, and we'll see you soon.